Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project and Magnetic Reversal News, bringing you a magnetic excursion update Friday, January 3rd, around 10 p.m. Mountain Time 2025. Two X flares today from the same active region, an X 1.2 followed by a longer duration X 1.1. We're also waiting for a potential CME to arrive, as it appears as if the coronal hole stream has arrived already. We also have a major winter storm to bring snow and ice from the central plains to the mid-Atlantic to talk about. Keep calm. It's boom time. A double dose of nasty winter is about to smack much of the U.S. with snow, ice, and biting cold. Yeah, a major winter storm will usher in Arctic blast for 230 million people. Temperature departures today for 117 million below average in the blue. Tomorrow, 219 will be below average, and that will be including all of the East Coast and many states. And Sunday, that cold temperature will moderate, but it'll be freezing in the central U.S. As Winter Storm Blair takes shape, clearly the second named winter storm of the season. And a week-long sub-freezing temperatures may plague Texas, the nexus of the Schmaxis, as Arctic air bringing a cold blast to Florida next week as well. And the first major winter storm of 2025 could bring near-record snow to Kansas City. Let's check out the full forecast. A major winter storm to bring snow and ice from the central plains to the mid-Atlantic. A major storm will produce widespread significant impacts from the central plains across the Ohio and Tennessee valleys and into the mid-Atlantic region this weekend into Monday. Areas between central Kansas and Indiana, especially along and north of Interstate 70, are likely to receive heavy snowfall. Icing is likely from eastern Kansas into the southern Appalachians and could be dangerous in some areas. Winter storm watches and warnings are up across the U.S. So click on your county for more info. And we will take a quick look over here at the GFS model. First, let's take a look at MLS precip, rain, and frozen. And we will move it through 3, 6, 9. By tomorrow, the storm is going to develop Saturday night here as it drops down into the central plains. And there is going to be some major icing. The icing begins Saturday night into Sunday morning and all day Sunday into Monday. Fun day. Take a look at that. And at the end of the storm, all the back end will be snow. How much snow? Tons of snow. According to the GFS model, a huge swath of about 2 feet across a half a dozen states, including Philly is going to be picking up the action. They haven't seen much snow there. Looking like about 6 inches for Philly. We'll take a look at the CMC model. It's showing much less accumulation, but a significant storm nonetheless, as we're waiting for, well, the storm to develop and to have a better picture of where that snow is going to fall. Below the heavy snow line is where the icing is going to occur, so heed the warnings and be prepared for a major ice storm on Saturday and into Sunday. Now, the basins across the West are looking better and better, most of them at or above 100% normal. We could use a little help here in the South, as well as up in Montana here in Wyoming. And it appears as if the models are going to, well, help that quite some. Take a look at the snow in the South and the snow up here in Montana and Wyoming. That will help the basins there definitely recover. And we're not just talking record snow for the U.S., we're also talking record snow worldwide. Record snow in Japan. Japan's higher reaches are experiencing a phenomenal winter with relentless record-setting snowfall blanketing slopes in Geto, Kogen, Hakuba, and Niseko. Tons of snow have fallen. In fact, a typo here says 370 feet, which is actually just 37 feet. But I do digress. Niseko has received fresh snow on 29 of the last 30 days. Look at the buildup here with a cumulative total of 13.1 feet. And the list is on and on. And even parts of Morocco picking up on the global warming goodness. Take a look at this. Parts of Morocco see snow for the first time in 50 years. Snow has blanketed several regions of Morocco for the first time in half a century. The rare weather event originally reported by the Maghreb Arabe press has transformed a traditionally arid landscape into a winter wonderland. Yes, those are palm trees covered in snow. Ho, ho, ho. Shut up, Al! Get in your hole! Al Gore is not happy with the snow in Morocco. Seismic update. The flurry of activity in Ethiopia continues today as a coronal hole is now coupling with us, which may set off a large 7.5 or greater earthquake in the next 24 hours. So we're keeping a close eye on that, as most of the activity worldwide is quite normal. Worldwide volcano news for January 3rd. Nevada de Ruiz, 19,000-foot puff. Semeru to 15,000-foot. Popo to 19,000. Sakonejima on the list, 7,000-foot puff today. Take a look at the fresh, snow-covered young Shivalush Dome. Wow. Absolutely spectacular there. Semeru to 15,000 foot. A new vent producing a powerful jet of gas, rocks and mud has been observed at Dolphin Volcano. This is in Ethiopia, where that seismic swarm is ongoing. It's in the Delecha district, and it looks like a mud volcano. Swanasima, 4,000-foot puff there. Fuego to 14,000 foot. Ibu, 7,000-foot blast. Santaguito to 14. Sakonejima to 6,000. And there we can see the seismicity continuing at Dolphin in Ethiopia. Ibu to 7,000 feet. Reventador, possible volcanic ash emissions. Conleon to 9,000 foot today. Shivalush on the list. Swanasima exploded to 5,000 foot. Semeru to 15. Fuego to 14 wraps up the list of worldwide volcano news. Now, the big story is space weather. Active region 3947 has produced 2 X-flares today. There is the new region. Let's take a quick look at that. Actually has turned much further in on the limb than that. Let's take a look at the latest if we can get it. And there you can see that sunspot. That is not it. That is old data. So apparently we're lacking the telemetry we need here over at SolarHam. But you can see the 2 X-flares occurring just about 10 hours apart. Now, the good news is none of these X-flares have resulted in major CMEs, so none of this space weather is going to be affecting Earth in any significant way. We can see ISWA here. This is the most recent X-flare. Just a shadow of plasma headed out from that region. A close-up of the first X-flare, an X1.2, as that active region turned into view. 10 hours later, it's closer as it moved around the limb, and an X1.1 longer duration flare did occur. But the big story is this gigantic coronal hole and coronal hole number 4. They will be coupling with us anytime now, and it appears as if the time is now. Plasma speed has risen as density has risen, and the coronal holes are upon us. Will it push the KP up into geomagnetic storm territory? That will be the big test. We're already pushing up towards KP3. We will see how this develops as the new telemetry comes in. The shock wave has just hit. We are also waiting on another shock wave. Here is the WSA Enlil spiral showing a CME leaving the sun on January 1st and arriving anytime today or tomorrow. So we could have a 1-2 punch with the coronal hole and a CME arriving, pushing us into geomagnetic storm the next 2 days. The forecast is for G1 geomagnetic storm. After yesterday, we reported on G0 and said, hey, I wonder if they'll actually, well, there it is. 2 days potential for G1 geomagnetic storm over the weekend. Interesting science coming up. Researchers solve 200-year-old volcanic mystery. If you didn't know, back in the Dalton Minimum, there was cooling, amazing cooling, and multiple volcanic eruptions, including one in 1831 that scientists were unaware of its source. Well, the source has been revealed in a new paper, the 1831 CE mystery eruption identified as Zavaritsky caldera in the Simsushir Islands in the Kuriles. Say that 5 times fast. Leah and I will break down the science for you tomorrow and how it kept the world cold for at least a year. And archaeologists find 115,000-year-old human footprints where they shouldn't be. We will also be tackling this topic tomorrow on the show. Fossilized footprints in Saudi Arabia show human traffic on the cusp of a subsequent ice age. Like carbon dating, scientists use isotopes and context clues to calculate the approximate age of the fossils. These human prints were surrounded by animals, but not hunted animals, indicating humans were just thirsty at this location where they left their prints. Oh, where did the story go? We'll break it all down tomorrow on Revolution Radio. We'll also be talking about this paper, Do We Live in a Special Part of the Universe? According to a tenet scientists call the cosmological principle, our place in space is in no way exceptional, but recent observations could overturn this long-held assumption, including some objects that we are now observing in the universe that measure astonishing distances, as much as 1 billion light years across. It's absolutely mind-boggling. Lee and I will break it all down tomorrow on Revolution Radio in Studio B, 12 noon Mountain Time. Just hit play and listen. Or you can wait for the replay, which is Saturday night, 8 p.m. on Magnetic Reversal News. And if you haven't seen on Oppenheimer Ranch Project at Diamond the Dave earlier today, we posted breaking news on the Sean Ryan Show today. A man named Sam Shoemate revealed that the Las Vegas Cybertruck bomber emailed him before the attack, and the bomber claimed that the U.S. and China have gravitic propulsion systems. He also alleged FBI surveillance on himself, and he was about to leak information on war crimes that the U.S. committed during his deployments. Check out the video on our X channel, Oppenheimer Ranch Project, at Diamond the Dave, and tell me what you think. And that's a boom to knowledge. Please hit the thumbs up. It helps with the algorithm. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Half of the viewers watching this are unsubscribed, and it really helps our channel grow. We love each and every one of you. Be safe, and we'll see you all tomorrow. On Revolution Radio. Radio!